All right, hello and welcome to Swing It and Ding It, an iHeartMedia podcast. Man, this is a birdie fest.
It's a Philly show, baby.
Let's go.
All right, welcome into Swing It and Ding It. Moose, Mayes, and Matthews on this U.S. Open week. And we go live to Southampton, New York with our next guest. Let the record show, we don't just have this guest on when his player wins, right? We've had this guest on just to talk about golf with him. But, Of course, the great Jason Baile, Director of Instruction at Jupiter Hills, 2025 PGA National Teacher and Coach of the Year, live from Shinnecock. Jason, welcome back to Swing It and Ding It.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. I kind of like it when you have it means somebody won if you had me on it when somebody wins. So I'm good with that.
Or you won something.
Or I won something.
True. So, Jason, I want to start with the obvious, right? And getting to know you a little bit, over the past couple of years, and having you on and know how you are with your players and kind of just the way you treat people and treat the game of golf. Just want to talk about kind of your range of emotions and thoughts and what kind of wins out in the end, right? You have a player that you coach, but you wind up, I know you, right? You become friendly with these guys. So you care about the person, you care about their personal story, you care about the person's career and where that does for them in the game of golf, but then also yourself as a coach and pride and justification in what you're doing. So when someone like Bud Cauley wins that event, how do those emotions, how do you manage them and what kind of wins out? How do you rank them in what you're feeling in that moment?
Well, I'll tell you a quick story. Maybe it'll wrap it up kind of the things you just said. So last week I went through the same type of thing with Ryan Gerard in the final group and losing to JT Poston in a playoff at Memorial. And I decided I'm not going to watch it for a little while. I went out to the club and hit some golf balls. It got to the back nine. I put my speaker on, turned on PGA Tour radio, and just played a couple of holes by myself listening to it. It's getting a little closer and a little closer. I got to go in. And so I'm going in. As soon as I go in to find a TV in the locker room, a member stops me and needs a ship sticks box. All right. So the radio's off. I don't know what's going on. I finally get that handled, get him to another staff member who actually knows where the ship sticks boxes are. And I go walking in the locker room and I can't work a TV in there to save my life. And then my phone starts going boom, boom, boom with text after text because Ryan made the putt on 17. So I can't figure out a way to turn the TV on. I'm riding this wave of emotion. I have to go through the playoff and that kind of thing. So this week, kind of the same type of thing happened. I landed. Got a nice text from a kid's father, Hampton BB IV, who won the Florida Am, got himself in the U.S. Am. So that was a great way to start. And then get to my rental car. I said, I'm not going to listen to it. Bud was about to make the turn. It's like, I'm just not going to listen to it. I can't handle it. And so I got closer and closer. Text started coming in. I said, I need to find a way to watch this. I'm in, upstate New York here. I don't know where I am. I don't know what to do. And so I pull off the road and I Google local municipal golf courses near me. Found a municipal golf course, walked in the golf shop and introduced myself to the pro and said, hey, I've got a guy who's getting ready to win his first PGA Tour event. Do you mind if I watch it? And he said, sure, man. Amazing. Yeah, he got me all set up on the TV and I stood in the golf shop and watched Bud win his first event. And, I cried just like he was tearing up to see Christy there and to see Cooper and Miles there and just like, knowing what he's been through, knowing the time we've spent together and for it all to kind of reach that climax was fantastic. I couldn't have been more proud of him.
I thought you were just a golf coach. I thought it was just X's and O's, right? I didn't think you'd get
Yeah, you'd like for it to be that way sometimes, but it very rarely is.
Yeah.
Jason, you mentioned what he's been through. Bud suffered 5 broken ribs, a broken leg, collapsed lung in a 2018 car crash, didn't return to golf until 2024. Just through helping him, coaching that comeback, what did you guys adjust? How did you approach working with him? Like we said, it's not just the X's and O's. Mentally, take us through kind of his journey and working with him to get him back and help him get to his first PGA Tour win.
Yeah, the first thing we started with was just what could his body still do, and luckily, he's got a great trainer in Colby Tourier, who really worked well with. I share a couple of players with him, so we got his body in really good position to be able to make the golf swing we know he used to make, and he obviously did a great job through the rehab part of it, even though that became difficult at times. So it was started with that, like, what are we working with? What type of piece of clay are we working with, and then how can we mold it? And it's really like, when a player pulls something off like this, you start thinking back of like the little things that happen that culminate into something like this. And I go back to right before Doral. And I just mentioned to him, I said, your best shot off the tee is when you draw it. It's your strongest shot. And he said, really? And I said, yeah. I said, I've just been wanting to tell you this for a little while. So he kind of bought into that, started drawing it more off the tee. And next thing you know, we're at Doral, and he gains 11 shots on the field, tee to green. And just had an incredible ball striking week, but lost 7 shots putting. So the next week we're at Truist, and he's complaining about his putting, and I said, looked at the stats and showed him how great he was inside of 8 feet. And I said, we're just not controlling speed very well. I said, we need to put a little more emphasis on that. JT happened to be on the putting green with us, and JT showed Bud some of the speed drills that he does. We started incorporating some of that into our practice. We changed putters. The guys at Scotty Cameron did a great job of kind of matching up something that we wanted that Bud felt comfortable with. So the putter changed, and we were 0 in strokes gained that week at Truist, which is a big hop from the week before. So now it's starting to roll a little bit. And so these little things. And then we played a game at a tournament where we played this 0 game on TrackMan, because Bud likes to shape the ball both ways with his irons. And I said, can you find 0 face, 0 path? And we just played it as a game to kind of fine tune like what he does well. So when he finds 0, it's easier to find a little bit of a right club path and a little bit of a left club path if you know where the middle is. And so that helped a bunch. Ball striking continued to get better. So it's a culmination of all these little things we've done over the years that, just kind of all of a sudden they start clicking. And that's when my job gets easy. I don't have to say much, just go get them, play hard. And that's what happened. And I'm just couldn't be more proud of him. And to be honest, just so happy for his family. It's just a cool thing to watch, especially when you know the people that you coach the way I do.
Yeah, I mean, it's really life-changing to get that first win. He's now in the top 30 in the FedEx Cup. I mean, this opens up a whole lot of more doors. And I know one of your other pupils, and Ryan Gerard, has been really close a couple of times. You mentioned the loss in the playoff, but he's got a couple of other second place finishes. You can see it coming with him, like he's gonna win. But were you saying that with Bud, like it's only a matter of time until we clean up some of these little things, he's gonna win?
Yeah, I mean, Bud's always had the golf game to win out on tour. I mean, well before I started working with him. So it's not something crazy that I did. Bud's a PGA Tour winner, in as far as skill set to begin with. I think it's just fine tuning. I always use the analogy of tuning a stereo. When you tune a stereo, you don't make, at least I would probably do it the wrong way, but you make these little adjustments until things, start sounding accordingly. A little bit of treble, a little bit of bass, and it's like that with a player. And then once they kind of get to a point where they're confident that they're doing the right things, then their true competitive self can come out. And that Bud's a great competitor, and you saw that on Sunday.
Now we see, these Florida guys, he's all bundled up in New York. He's a little chilly in the morning.
Oh yeah, Moose.
Hey, we're looking at the flags at Shinnecock that are kind of laying down today, and we were walking off 16 green just a second ago and saying this is the last time you'll see them limp.
Yeah, I bet. Now,
this is the calm before the storm.
Yes, for sure. Now, when we saw it when you were at Aronimink with Ryan Gerard, you were talking about cheesesteaks. What was your experience like up at Aronimink a couple weeks ago?
Man, I loved being up there. My father's from the Philadelphia area in Yeadon, and so I went by his old school for him and things like that. I just love being up in that area. Wow. Such a great sports town. Even though I didn't tell anybody, Danielle, that I was a Cowboys fan because I knew that would happen. But I did take great pleasure in walking by a couple of guys with Phillies hats on going, "Go Braves." But I was inside the ropes, so I knew I was safe. They couldn't come get me inside the ropes.
You whispered it.
Yeah.
Phillies fans are more calm anyway. Yeah, you're fine there. Yeah, you're fine there.
Yeah.
Well, Jason, you've got 3 players teeing it up at Shinnecock this week. Bud, Peter Uline, Ryan Gerard. How are conversations going with each of them? How are things looking? We were just talking a little bit about the wind. How's the course looking? How are things shaping up this week?
Yeah, I mean, the course is in great shape. It's like when I think of U.S. Opens, I think of Shinnecock. You know, I remember like when I first started paying attention to golf, it was around 1986. And I remember the Sports Illustrated cover with Ray Floyd and his daughter on the cover. And I remember, being from Eastern North Carolina, looking at this place on TV going, are they playing on the moon? I mean, this is just like such a different look. So this place just screams U.S. Open. I think everybody's just trying to figure out, this golf course changes day to day, hour to hour, because the wind switches quite a bit. And the way the golf course is designed, you're not going to get the same wind all the time. So you just got to be ready, for these changes. You got to adapt quickly. But USGA is putting on a great show, and Shinnecock's putting on a hell of a show.
Does it play? It looks more like a links golf course and like an Open Championship than a U.S. Open. Does it play more like that? And is there anything you do with your guys as far as different bounce on their wedges for all the chipping and stuff that they're going to have to do?
Most players, it doesn't play quite, it isn't right now quite as firm as what you would play a links golf course. It does look very linksy, but I wouldn't say it plays extremely linksy. You're not going to be bouncing balls into greens or anything like that from the fairway, unless the wind gets really, really bad. So a lot of times these guys already have at least 2 lob wedges that they're going back and forth for different turf conditions to figure out which one feels the best that week. It's been a little soft because of rain in the beginning of the week, but it's going to firm up. I told Bud this morning on the putting green, I was like, we should take a picture of the putting green color today and then each day till Sunday and see how much it changes.
Now, Jason, how do you manage your week, right? You're at a major, you have 3 players playing in it. Everybody wants your attention. How do you kind of map out, your schedule and what's it look like this week for a major?
That's always a fun situation to try to figure out how, there's a little cloak and dagger with it. And these 3 guys are playing really well, so it's not like I have to do a bunch, but they do want you there. That's what they pay you for. So I get them warmed up. They go off, and then I'll catch them out there after I've warmed up the last player and walk a couple holes with each of them, then meet them back at the range, cool them down, go through some last-minute stuff with them, and then send them out to play.
Just like that. Nothing else. Super simple. Nothing else jammed into your day.
Yep.
Amazing.
We've like I always say, we've done all our hard work at home. These are just minor adjustments and little things and reminding them of things, and just it's you've got your playbook. It's time to run your playbook.
Well, Jason, I know you're super busy. I'll ask you one last question just for our listeners. If an amateur golfer is listening to this podcast right now, and if they can make maybe a minor adjustment or do one thing, what would you tell them from your work with tour players and maybe how an amateur could apply it to their own game?
Well, first thing I'd say, I'd be remiss if I didn't say find your local PGA professional for some help. It's what we're trained to do. But I think that every player could get the most out of what we call at the club. Do you do the ordinary things extraordinarily well? Do you put your hands on the club properly? Do you have a good shot shape in mind? Is the ball in the right spot? Are your tilts or bends, your alignment's correct? And then let's have some fun playing this game. It shouldn't be work.
What is the toughest challenge for your guys mentally to approach a U.S. Open, knowing you're going to make bogeys? You're trying to keep big numbers off the cards and to sort of stay motivated when they hit that stretch and things aren't going so well. How do you keep them or get them prepared for that?
Yeah, it's the patience part of it. I know it gets overused sometimes, but in a U.S. Open or any major championship, we saw it at Aronimink. You're going to take your lumps. You just got to hang in there. Use your Rocky Balboa a little bit, to use a Philly reference there. You just hang in there. You hang in there. You take the blows the golf course is going to give you. You look for your chances, and you stay patient, because a lot of times players, it happens one of 2 ways. Players win a golf tournament, or the golf tournament wins them. And when you're really patient in a major and you just hang in there, then the golf tournament's liable to win you.
Great stuff. Well, Jason, we appreciate you making some time for us. See your PGA professional. That's right. I spent some time with Chris Hansen this week. I have a member guest coming up starting tomorrow. It's all hands on deck, Jason.
There you go, baby.
We got to get this done.
There you go. Glory's last shot.
That's right.
That's right. congratulations to Bud Cauley, who you've done a lot of work with, and good luck to the rest of your guys. Hope you have a great week out there, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Great. Thanks for having me on, and thanks for all you do for the game.
All right. Thanks, Jason. Let's take a quick break, and we will be right back. All right. Welcome back to Swing It and Ding It. Always great to talk to Jason Baile, one of our favorite guests. Just one of the best teachers, coaches, people in the game of golf. How about that club pro? We got to find out what course that was. He just stumbles in and asks to watch.
Googled local Muni. Like, that's my guy. Can I watch him, please?
What a golf doesn't Google like sports bar, doesn't Google like
local Muni. He doesn't go to like a and imagine that guy too that helped him like telling this story to his friends, like, Jason Baile walked in, they're like, right.
This reminded me of me, like if I have a bet going and I know like I hear it on the radio, a guy's in contention, I'll pull into a sports bar and I always have to like tell the bartender how to find Golf Channel or whatever it's on. I'm like, just give me the remote. Just give me the remote.
Hand it to me.
You might have to start pulling in the munis, Sarah.
I know.
It might be the new move.
I know.
Well, that's probably why. He probably knew. He probably has experienced it before that the bars don't get it. He needed to find that Muni.
That's
funny. That's awesome.
That's funny. Well, it was great to hear about his work with Bud Cauley. Obviously, a huge win for Bud with a great story. But you talk about a guy birdies 4 and 5 on the back 9. His first win in 239 career starts. Danielle, you talked about the car accident 8 years ago. It was a 3-time All-American in Alabama. He had 5 top 15s and 11 starts out of the gate, and then he misses the cut in Muirfield Village, and it's a terrible accident in the back seat, a single car accident, tons of injuries. But it seemed like things that could all be fixed, but there were complications that just came from the surgeries he's had on his ribs that just never fully healed and led to more and more injuries. So just a wild story, somebody that we've kind of been following along with for a while. I remember BQ, we used to love Bud Cauley and pick him in our segments all the time, right? But just it's awesome to see these stories in the game of golf, and this was a huge one this week, Harry.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And you can tell he's pretty well liked out there amongst the other tour players. It's not just JT that was happy to see him win, as far as the fellow Bama guy and all that, and former roommates and stuff. I think he's pretty well liked, and it is an amazing story. Like Jason was saying, they had to get his body right. Can he get to the positions and do the things that he used to do post-accident? You got to make sure that that's all taken care of. This is a long process, and to finally get it over the line, and to win a pretty big, it's an Open. This is a big event. I know it's not a signature event and all this kind of nonsense. This is a big time win in the world of golf. He's in the top 30 now in the FedEx Cup. He could get to the Tour Championship. This was huge for him, and just a guy that you kind of rooted for all along, and sort of one of those little guys. He's not 6'4". He doesn't hit at 340 off the tee. He's a good iron player, and he put the putter together. He made a lot of great putts on that final round, like you mentioned, Moose. Those 3 birdies in a row and 4 and 5 holes. That's where he really put the foot down. So much so that he could afford to make bogey on 17, and then on 18, the par 5, he put it kind of near the bunker. I remember in the fescue, he had an awkward second shot. He chose to lay up to a number and then hit his wedge in there and was content to make par because that's all he needed to do, and got the win. So it was really good to see.
Yeah, and Jason mentioned that going through that. Bud's always been a competitor, but they just had to get him back mentally, physically, everything else. And then just talking about the strokes gained and then getting him dialed in, working with the guys at Scotty Cameron. He had a Go Low 7 Tour prototype that he was working with. And Harry, you just talked about him draining all of those putts. It's just like what makes these guys feel good, what gives them the confidence. And we saw that happen, but just getting the right equipment, the right mindset, and just saying, okay, look, you have everything together. The game they were talking about, Jason talking, playing with Bud on, the TrackMan. Let's see where we can get it to 0, saying commit to that draw instead of that fade. And it just trust it. It's incredible how just those small tweaks mentally can help and where he's at.
Those guys are always working with protos. You notice that there's a lot of protos in those bags.
Yep. Yeah. It's not the Go Low that we can get. It's the prototype.
Right.
And that's just tweaking the shaft, adding the, the different grip, a couple more wraps,
Yeah.
it's got to be tough, right? It's like so much temptation around. He's like, no, don't try this new club. No. Like it's
literally when you walk
Yeah.
up, I've seen it. You walk up, Monday, basically through, Thursday morning. No, probably Wednesday, Monday through Wednesday. You walk up and it's just it's a pro shop on the putting green where it's just putters just all around. And it's like it's like a kid in a candy store. How do you not pick up one and just hit a few balls with it? It's tough.
Yeah. But a couple of other good performances. Matt Fitzpatrick, again, lurking near the top of the board. He's got, 3 wins already? He's one of the favorites for the one and done this week. Yeah, he's one of the favorites. Moose might be taking him. Victor Hovland had a big final round. That vault, he actually shot 64 on Saturday and then 65 on Sunday to vault him to 3rd place alone.
He pops up every now and then, right? Like
he does. He does. He talk about a tweaker, and he's probably trying different protos. That guy seems like he's got a lot of protos. But Yella Miraju, the top Canuck, we like that guy. We know how hard he works. And I had Wyndham Clark, who I knew after he shot 63 on Saturday, he was going to have a dud on Sunday. I just knew it. And he shot 70 and finished T11.
Oh, he had the Jack Hughes jersey on, too.
I know, that was cool.
The Canadians.
That was pretty cool. That was cool.
That was a great move. Clark, they were giving him some noise. Did you guys see that?
He had the
jersey
on Saturday.
Yeah.
And then Sunday they were giving it to him, and he made birdie on the hole anyway. And then he did the old Allen Iverson thing. It was awesome.
I posted about it. I'm like, all right, maybe the locker room in Oakmont wasn't that bad. You're gonna make me like you again.
Right. But doing things like that, it gets him more well liked. There's no doubt about it.
Oh yeah, that was cool. But how about the RBC Canadian Open when Bud was kind of on fire coming out? It was a sponsor invite he got in 2011, and he had a T13 there back in the day. So pretty interesting full circle moment for him to come back and win that event. But you talked about Matt Fitzpatrick and somebody a lot of people are looking at this week. But it turned out to be a great finish. I mean, you get the chip in. You always see that signature shot. You always see steady play and then like a signature shot, right? That's what usually wins it. Unless lately there's been so many playoffs and everything too. There has to be like that extra gear you have. But good tournament. Good stuff to watch. Danielle, let's spill some tea.
Let's do it, guys. All right, let's go here. So we have to talk about the elephant in the room. It's been all over social media. Phil Mickelson was accused of inappropriate contact with a female course employee and was removed from the Farms Golf Club outside of San Diego. According to reports, he touched the female employee inappropriately, and then she said no. He went out on the course. She went and told staff immediately, and then they actually had to go out and find him on the course while he was in the middle of playing and asked him, you got to go, you have to leave. Because
can you imagine getting that detail? Hey, you got to go get Phil and get him off the property. Like the assistant pro does that, the head pro, who gets that detail?
Yeah, who was going up and telling him, like, you have to leave.
Be hiding in the bathroom.
That's
I have a phone call. I have to take this.
But that's what they're saying. They said they had to move fast. They had to do everything. They had to make sure it was happening because, allegations, are they correct? Are they not? In this case, they're saying immediately it was handled. So we'll see what comes out of that with Phil. Not great story for him, and his track record lately hasn't been the best.
It's not good. I guarantee you there's going to be more lawyers involved.
A few.
Okay. A few. I don't think Phil's going to go quietly. In other words. Yeah.
Harry, did we take in any of the Curtis Cup?
I did, because it was at Bel Air, and I went to the Curtis Cup a couple years ago at Marion, and I still, I'm familiar with, some of the girls on the team, and that was great to watch, man.
It was. I didn't see too much.
Awesome.
I did see Farrell O'Keefe close it out, though, seal the deal, and the USA capture the 44th Curtis Cup, which is pretty cool.
Very cool. Very great event. Great event. Can't wait for the amateur at Marion coming up in August.
That's right.
I have a credential.
Oh.
The USGA likes me. The PGA, not so much. Yeah.
Can't win them all.
They're tough. We always like to talk about highlight athletes, celebs, anybody who are, who's just catching the golf bug or is a golf sicko and getting into it. So Josh Hart, after winning the NBA championship, he tweeted out, probably pretty strategic. I'm sure he knows a couple guys would probably say, hey, here's an invite. But he said, now we play golf. Just got to figure out where to get a golf membership in New York with the eye emojis, like anybody. So the comments
anybody
already.
Want me? No,
anybody want to, host me?
I want to waive that fee. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he might be.
yeah,
He
right.
might be like Moose here, America's guest, and
Yeah.
just all over New
Oh, it
York.
might be
playing.
Harry Mayes now. Harry
Wow.
might have taken my spot. I don't know.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, but I'm local. I'm strictly local. You get on an airplane to be the guest.
Well, Harry will hold down the tri-state, and Moose will hold down, the
Yeah.
country.
Right. Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
So talking about the U.S. Open, Scotty said the Grand Slam has never been a motivating factor for him. Do we believe that? Like
His
he's not.
press conferences are always so weird. Like, we get it, Scotty.
It's
You don't care
so
that,
weird.
we
Yeah.
get it that golf is not the main thing in your life. That's cool. Like he has to kind of throw that out there all the time. That it's
Every
not that
time.
important
Yeah.
to him.
Yeah,
I don't know. Is that
don't-
you think that's just like a thing to try to make it seem a little bit less stressful for him? Maybe
It might
it
be.
downplays it in his
That's
mind.
what I wanted to know from you
It's
guys.
his
Yeah.
way.
It
It
might
could be his way to be like, all right, because you can't tell me you're at that level and you don't have
That you
that
don't care. You're not
burning desire.
considering.
I mean, I know it
There's
has a lot
no
to do with
way.
his faith that he does not define himself by being a golfer. Okay,
Right.
that's really what it comes down to. But yeah, like you just got to say, I win this, and then what? It's almost like, and then what? Like there's never going to be something.
His cup
that,
is never full or running
right.
over.
It's
and
never going to be where you've climbed the mountain and you're done. There's always going to be somebody's going to put another mountain.
Yeah, they're going to compare you to Tiger.
Well,
Right,
yeah, and there's other players who have echoed those same sentiments
Yeah.
and saying like, okay, you win, and it's like, oh, this is what it feels like. I thought
Yeah.
it'd feel better, and so maybe, but I do think he kind of downplays that a little bit, just saying, and
Well, it's
it
sort of like-
may be strategic too by saying like, kind of stop asking me these questions every single
Yeah.
time. Like, I know what's in front of me. It's Nelly deals with the same stuff.
It was sort of like A.J. Brown after he won the Super Bowl. He was like a day later, he was kind of, this is it. Like
That's all?
Yeah. I think a lot of
And
athletes
7,000
kinda deal with
texts,
it.
on Sunday
Right.
night, or nothing else the next couple of days. Yeah, it's tough,
Yeah.
but I mean, not that tough. Not Scotty's life isn't tough as far as we see it.
Right.
Well, we were talking about it a little earlier. Jason was on site. I was surprised that his connection and the wind was not a factor, because currently the forecast Thursday high of 84, but gusts up to 29 miles an hour and an inch of rain. Friday high of 80, gust 26 miles an hour, half an inch of rain. Saturday high of 78, gust 31 miles an hour, no rain. Sunday gust up to 21 miles an hour. So it's going to be windy. It's going to be tough. What do you guys think the winning score at Shinnecock is?
Well, Goosen shot there at 4 under and made 11 one putts on the final day I was there. I don't think it's going to be that high. I think they might be +1 or +2.
Yeah,
think
only a
it's gonna be
handful
over
of
par.
players have finished under par in the history of the tournament there. So
Yeah.
only been a handful.
Mickelson is the only one to finish under par and not win. He was 2 under in 2004 when Goosen won at 4 under.
He was really feeling it that day.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Koepka won. it
Also
was
at the U.S.
+1.
Open. Yeah.
Right. Corey Pavin won. It was even, and Ray Floyd was 1 under back in '86. This place is crazy because they had the second U.S. Open there of all time back in 1896, and then they went 100 years, almost 100 years, 90 years, until they had another one. And when they had the one in '86, it was sort of like a trial. Like, we'll give
We'll
Shinnecock
see.
a shot and see if it can, stand up. And to see if logistically we can get enough people in there, and it'll just, they had a lot of doubts that it was going to work. And it
just
worked
show
so
off.
well that now they're back on the sort of the everyday 10-year rotation. So
And it's
so to speak.
exciting. It's
Yeah.
exciting seeing the course,
The greatest piece of golf land in the world. You could say that there's
I
better
would think
golf in
so.
areas, but you can't have a piece of land that has National, Sabonic, Shinnecock. Oh, also Southampton. which is
Southampton's right there.
I love that course when I get a chance to play that with my buddy. At least once a year. Like, it all is the same piece of land. It all connects. It's
Yeah.
it's insane.
You
It's
got the
wild.
bridge right up the road. I mean, there's tons of them over there.
Yeah, and then there's that sneaky little Three Ponds farm. It's actually one guy owns the course, the property, and it's a golf course. So unless you know him or have a
Oh
connection,
yeah, that was cool to see
But-
that.
yeah, it's insane, and it's a pretty sweet spot. They have little party huts on it. But Brad sent me videos. We normally don't post stuff of Rory or anything else. We're a little strategic, but he sent me these videos. I'm like, we need to post this. So he was out there working with Rory, and he, just putting and drained 2 of them. He went birdie, finished the whole birdie, and then went from another spot and drained another one. So 157 yards. There was obviously wind. You can see everything whipping in the video. uphill. Rory knocked a 6-iron pin high to 15 feet. And then he was the only player out of his practice group out of the foursome to hit it in regulation, but he drained birdie there and then hit another one. So that was pretty cool just to see that. But if you guys follow along with Brad, I've been requesting a ton of content to see. I was like, I need more. But just kind of getting course conditions and everything else out there. It's some good stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's it for tea for me.
Did you guys see, which I thought was a pretty cool move by Jim Furyk, adding Justin Ray and a few others to the Ryder Cup team to help with the analytics and their statistics. So
and Justin Ray's one of my favorite followers on X. Like, he is awesome. Yeah.
Well, they're finally trying to catch up to what Europe has been doing for several Ryder Cups now.
Yeah. Dodo Molinari, right?
Eduardo Molinari. Yeah. Dodo.
Yeah. How about we gained a new fan and a new follower and a new watcher and listener of the show, the great Yip Strickler.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Talk about that, Moose.
Well, yeah, it all had to do with our interview with Ryan Winchester, not to do with his 2 hole-in-ones, but Yip is he goes right to the gin, and he was not happy with the score posting, but it really wasn't even so much about Ryan. It was about someone else that kind of jumped in and was kind of challenging him. So, Yip does not accept a challenge lightly. He had to jump right back in. He does not. And he did a great job of explaining it. And then obviously he used the clip from our show, which was really cool. So, we appreciate the highlight there. Yep.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And just additional insight. He said that he posted a 72 instead of a 71. They went through his scorecard. Yeah.
But he did post it. He did shoot 71.
71.
Yeah. 36, 35 or something. Yeah.
Big thumbs,
Yeah. Ryan seemed like a very laid back kid. Like, doesn't even
so
care
chill
about,
out of it.
Yeah.
I don't think he was like,
he does not seek the spotlight. There's members over there.
And
that
he's a
wish he
player
would.
too. You can tell.
Yeah.
And he was just like, he just wants to go out and play good golf and have fun. I don't think he intentionally was trying to, and if so, he probably would have put a 75 or something, not just 72.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So Harry, you had a big week in the golf world locally. You did a little caddying. You played a couple great local courses. Summarize your week there, Harry Mayes.
I did. Well, our buddy Carl Manuelian over at the Philly Golf Gram was on a 2-week vacation sojourn, playing some of the best courses around the area, and he had invited us to play Jericho earlier. Earlier last week, maybe it was Thursday, maybe was the day. And I couldn't do it on Thursday. And then I also got invited to play Jericho the day after on Sunday. Friday, the invite came in for Sunday. So I went up there on Sunday and played with, one of my fraternity brothers, Tony DeMichael, who's the member up there, and a couple more of our guys. And we had a ball. I mean, that place, it's gorgeous property. It's about the second or third time I've been there. And you just start to get a little familiarize yourself with it. Terrific golf course, in great shape. There wasn't a whole lot of people out there, so we could just Zoom and smoke our cigars and go at our own pace, and it was awesome. It gets a little muggy. There's like a wooded area where the 14th, 15th, and 16th holes are. It's kind of down into the forest. And there was no air, and it was like 90. It felt like it was 96 with 100 humidity. But then when you come back up the hill on 17, you started to feel the breeze again. But outside of those 3 holes, it was a super comfortable day. Terrific afternoon. And then Carl had invited us to play Rolling Green to see if either one of us could make it, and Moose couldn't make it, so I had to jump in. And because we talk about Rolling Green a lot on this show.
Was that your first time?
No, it was not my first time. It was my second time to play it. But we went over there, and we were hosted by a great member, Mike Malone, who was just terrific, a terrific host. And we played with this other guy, Tom, who he was in a match with. Mike and Tom, the 2 members, were having a better ball match that they had to complete by a certain day this week. So they're playing their match, and Carl and I are just out there enjoying the golf course and getting a little tutorial on Flynn and why he did this on this certain, why he placed a bunker here and there, and the tree takedown. It was a really fascinating afternoon yesterday, plus some lunch. It was great. But in between that, I caddied for a high school friend. I graduated with this couple, Gary and Terry Rail. and their son Brandon played at LaSalle College, and then went on to be one of the cricket club Gap guys. He's on one of their teams. And I decided to, I'm going to caddy for the guy. I'm not only going to give him my yardage or my greens reading book. I want to roll the bag with him. I want to, throw it over the shoulder, because he will have played at Sunnybrook that morning carrying his own bag. And I'm like, by the time he gets to our place, he's going to be tuckered out. So I said, I'll jump in. And man, this was awesome. I'm telling you, if I come back in another life, I want to be a caddy. That was
really?
so much fun. I'm giving him the yardage to the front. He had a little, he was allowed to use his gun, so he'd shoot the flag, but I'd just tell him what it was to the front. I'm cleaning.
Did you walk it off, or were you also using a rangefinder?
No, I had a GPS.
Oh, okay.
I asked them if I could use the GPS. They said, yeah, you're fine as long as.
And Harry knows every square inch of that place.
Oh, yeah.
How long have you been there for?
I've been there since 2009.
Right. Green reading, you're giving them putts and everything else. We
had a ball. I'm cleaning the grooves with a tea mousse. After every shot, I'm wiping them off. I was on top of it. It was awesome.
What about the mental aspect? Did you have some jokes to tell him? Were you a cheerleader?
He didn't want me to talk all that much, and I'm good with that. Yeah, he told me. He said, you don't need to talk all that much. We had some fun, but it wasn't like I needed to be, distracting him or in his head. Like he's. He does his own thing. So we had a blast.
That's awesome. That's a fun experience.
Yeah, really cool.
Yeah. So
really
I'm available to caddy. Okay. One bag only. I'm only throwing one bag. I'm not a two-bagger.
Yeah.
That's
was it a staff bag, or was it just a one strap?
No, it was a Jones. It was one. Might have been one like Moose got. I think Moose got one of those recently.
Yeah.
But,
I got one of those carry bags. They're nice.
So you got a workout in, nice.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Walk
Total
on the
workout.
course. Yeah. 6 miles with 30 pounds on your back.
It was great.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
Great.
Very cool.
Well, yeah, as I mentioned, I have Green Valley member guests coming up, practice round tomorrow. I went and saw our buddy Chris Hansen yesterday afternoon, trying to get dialed a little bit, working on some stuff. I feel like I could have probably used maybe 2 or 3 more times with Chris to work on some stuff, but I have him in my mind. He sent me the videos, sent me the pictures. I'm going to head to the course later tonight for men's league and work on some stuff. But yeah, always looking forward to that. See our boy Coop and the rest of the crew out at Green Valley. But yeah, Greenie and I have to step up this year.
Yeah.
It's time.
How close have you gotten? Like to
last year was probably our closest. I think we were one off.
Okay.
One off the flight. Yeah, it was really close last year. A couple of the other years, maybe somewhere in the mix, but yeah, last year was
this is the year.
It's cool too. They do Sunday leader can get in. So even if if people have a rough day on not Sunday, Saturday, second day, you still have a chance. So yeah, great event. Always look forward to it. Weather looks like it's going to be beautiful. So yeah, excited about that.
Very
but
cool.
It's all about the U.S. Open. Shinnecock, can't get enough of the coverage, the views. Having seen it in person. Harry, you were out here in the past.
Yeah.
What's shaping up to, I think, going to be a great U.S. Open. You have a lot of the storylines with Scotty going for the Grand Slam. You have Cam Young, the hometown, if you will, New York story.
Yeah.
The guys that all get in from the qualifying, James Nichols and others. So
yeah, he's the first guy off. How about
is
that?
he?
Yeah, he's first.
Yeah,
two.
how cool is that?
Yeah.
Ryan French did a nice story on that local town and being the first one off on Thursday.
Yeah, very cool. But yeah, the Shinnecock Hills is terrific, a terrific test, but they've lost the golf course at times, the previous 2 times that they've had it out there, and it's become issues where they're talking about, the USGA screwed up, or, we hope that doesn't happen this time. I don't think it will, because I think they just are so cognizant of the fact that they don't want that to be the story, that I think they'll take care of it. But it's their 10th USGA championship. At this course, the 6th Open, started way back in 1896 with, I think, the 2nd overall. Then they waited like 90 years to have it again in 1986. Ray Floyd won that. 1995, Corey Pavin, you remember him hitting that 4-wood up the 18th fairway and him running, he was jumping to see where it went, on his way to win. And then back in 95, and 2004 and 2018. I was there in 2004, but it's a William Flynn design in 1931, a par 70, 7,440 yards, only 2 par 5s. Number 5, which will mostly be downwind, and number 16, which will mostly be into the wind. It's like a prevailing wind from the south-southwest that they typically will get. If it reverses and comes from the north, look out. But there's 4 par 3s, and that's really, to me, what the golf course is all about. These par 3s are unbelievable. Number 2 and number 7, number 11 and 17. 7 and 11 are two of the toughest holes I think I'd ever play if I ever got the chance to play it. I mean, 11 was, if you remember, Brooks Koepka hit his ball he got a little too far. It went off the green to the back to the runoff area, and he chipped up, and he knew he probably couldn't hold the green. He tried to hit it into the hill, but it rolled over into the bunker, and that was kind of his intention. He hits a bunker shot to like 12 feet and drained the putt for a bogey. And that's what he was trying. That was like the best bogey of his
grinding.
Life. Yeah, you're grinding for 12-foot bogey putts on this golf course. So
they said number 2 is playing 252, the par 3.
Yeah, that's the long one, I believe. Yeah,
226.
226. Yeah, and I think that's mostly downwind.
Okay,
going that direction, I believe.
Oh wait, I messed that up. That's 226 pars. I'm sorry. I sent you guys the course statistics from.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So far there was 226 there. So pars.
Gotcha. Yeah, they say they could play that long, like close to
with the back tee.
Yeah. I mean, they widened the fairways this year as opposed to any other time they've had it there. They're like 48 yards wide on average, which sounds like a lot, but when you get the wind and if you miss the fairway here, you're basically pitching out and trying to get to a yardage to hit a wedge. To manage it. But over 100 bunkers. There's only one water hazard, and that's a pond that sort of sits in front of the 6th green. So it's all about wind.
Wide open and playing the wind.
Yep.
Yeah. As we see the line here with our friends at Parx, I hate to do it, but you got to fade Brooks Koepka. He's battling that injury right now. He's saying he's having some issues.
Grip the club. Yeah.
He's way up the board too at 3,300. To do it. But I'm always curious to see the live guys. Right. You know. I like Terrell Hatton. I always do in the majors. You got obviously what's Rahm going to do, what's Bryson going to do. Patrick Reed, is he going to step up in a big moment? But
Peter Uline's in there.
Yeah. You got Scotty at 550, then down to Rory at 1,200, Rahm at 1,400, Fleetwood, Xander Schauffele, who's always a top 5 major kind of guy, Matt Fitzpatrick, and then Cam Young. Other guys that I'm seeing, some people, obviously Morikawa always seems to step up in these big events. You got Wyndham Clark, Chris Goddard up at 4,000. That's an interesting number to see if he can step up in a major. But what are you seeing here, Harry? How do you see the line?
Well, Liv screwed up golf in many ways. And one of the ways was gambling on these damn events because you just said it. All the live guys you rattled off, you really have no idea what's going to happen with them because the courses they play, the events that they play just don't measure up, and you have really no idea what's going on. Except Rahm played really well at the PGA. Cam Smith played really well at the PGA. And he is a long shot of long shots that I have to throw something on.
I don't hate him on this course.
Absolutely. I mean, he played. This is a Ronimink kind of on steroids with the wind and the greens and everything, but Hideki too was a long shot, kind of a long shot. I kind of like him throw a couple bucks down to win it. Patrick Reed, he's got a terrific short game. You're going to miss greens here, a lot of them. He's a great chipper. He's a great competitor in this type of grind. You mentioned Fitzpatrick. I like him in a top 10. Adam Scott too. I like in a top 20. He's playing his 100th consecutive major championship. Only Jack Nicklaus has more. Wow. And I think Jack is at like 140 or something. Wow. Like he'd have to stay. Jack played in like 140 straight majors. And Adam Scott is at 100.
That's a crazy stat.
40 more you would need that. Yeah. That's like one of those Tigers.
That's like 10 years. That's 10 more years. Yeah. And what's Scott?
And how old's Adam?
He's like 45, 46, somewhere around there. So I don't think he's going to catch Jack, but still a tremendous record. I like him in the top 20. I took Fleetwood in the one and done. He finished second or third here, I want to say, in 2018 when Brooks won it. He's got a terrific 45. Short game, iron game. Mentally, he'll be able to handle it. The thing I worry about with him is he's playing with Rory and Oberg the first 2 days, and there's going to be a lot of mayhem around that grouping. I kind of worry about that, but I'm taking Fleetwood.
I had Cam Young left in the one and done.
Did you?
I did. I was going to take Matt Fitzpatrick, but I had Cam left.
So you didn't take Fitz?
I didn't.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
I took Cam Young.
Okay.
I like them both. I do. I like Hatton in a top 5 here. I like that number for him. And then other guys, Russell Henley, Wyndham Clark, guys that have been playing really well. Obviously, Henley with the win and Wyndham earlier too. So I think it's going to be guys that have done well, top 5, won this season. Always in the majors, it's cream of the crop. But I think even more here. The Scotty thing is so interesting though. Like, wouldn't it be great for him to kind of shut everybody up and just win this event?
Yeah,
it would.
You know?
Totally. And he absolutely could.
Oh yeah.
Short game's terrific. But I heard something. There's 6 of the last 7 U.S. Open winners are first-time winners.
Wow.
Yeah.
A lot of great stuff from you today, Harry.
Yeah, that's that. Like,
That is so surprising.
I want to make. I think Bryson is the only outlier in the last 7. Like Woodland, first time winning a major.
Yeah.
Woodland went back to Pebble Beach in what was that, 2018, 2019, somewhere
I think.
there.
Yeah.
I mean, you just look at some of these guys. So Fleetwood would kind of fit right into that mix.
First
You
major.
took Tommy last year, right?
Yeah. What's that?
Did you take you had Tommy locked in last year, right?
Not for this
year?
event. Not for this event.
I
Did
thought
you have any
said
futures
last-
for this one locked in, Harry? Or no?
I took Fleetwood last year, and I bet him last year for this event, this year at 3,500 plus 3,500. He's now plus 2,000. What is he? Plus 2,000, 2,200, somewhere around there.
Fleetwood is now down to 1,800 on BetParx.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got
a
some
lot of
value
value
there.
there.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
Yeah. So
All
we'll
right.
see. We'll see.
Beautiful. Thank you to Jason Baile for hopping on. It was awesome to see him live out of Shinnecock and talk about Bud Cauley's win. And yes, also the Swing It and Ding It Open will be going live today. So
today?
Today. Yeah.
Okay.
I have it all. I have it all set up. So just ready. Just got to hit play and get it in because it's going to be a short window because we're going to have to shut it down pretty quickly. Yeah. We want to make sure that guys get in and guys and gals that want to play. So.
Well, I know that the guys from Fit Golf want to know if they can get involved.
Absolutely.
With the tournament. I got to
love to have them out there.
I got a note from them the other day. Wanted to pass that along to you and subscribe to the YouTube page too, and hit like buttons. We need likes.
Yeah. Engage with us.
It's all about the algorithm. Yeah, right. I got to make more comments now. I just learned this. I'm almost 61 years old, and Danielle finally tells me how to increase engagement on Instagram.
I said outbound engagement. He said, "What? I'm 60."
Yeah.
I don't know what this means. I said, "I got you, Harry. You're just going to make a drive over to the East Coast. I'll sit in the office with a couple of my girls.
Yeah, I'll do that.
I'll do that. They'll give me a little learning session.
If only we had a social media expert on the team. Yeah, that'd be tremendous.
But the other interesting thing about this week, there's 20 amateurs in the field.
Wow.
And some of these players are absolute stone cold studs that I'm really interested in watching. This Miles Russell kid who's going to go to Florida State.
Oh, yeah.
Jackson Coyven, again, we know about him. Preston Stout from Oklahoma State. Watched him in the NCAAs. Jackson Ormond from Florida. Or he's either going to the University of Florida or he's already there. But he qualified on the longest day in golf. And Mason Howell, the kid that won the USAM, he's playing with Scotty and Spawn. He's going to the University of Georgia. I'm going to be interested. These guys, I'm telling you, these guys
it's cool though. Like
young guys, they know no fear anymore.
They don't.
Like
That's what
they
I was
feel
say,
they can win
Harry.
this event. Some of these guys.
Well, because they're thriving in college. They had an incredible junior amateur career. They're getting ready to go to college, entering
all money
as the mayor of their town, like the next golf prodigy. And it's like, yeah, of course I got in the US Open. I'm so good. So it's like you said, Harry, they don't have that fear. And then, maybe in a group with Scotty, might humble them slightly, but also might be like, yeah, I can do this. It's different. They're not playing to pay bills or, support their family or anything else. It's like, I'm having fun.
Well, he's probably got some big NIL money.
It's silly. I've had some people reach out to me like, hey, should my kid do this and this? And I'm like, yes, your child can leave high school entering college with close to $1 million in the bank with these NIL deals. Like if they do it correctly and they're a stud. Wild what this game can do for you.
Good stuff.
Crazy. All right. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We'll be back next week to recap the US Open and the Green Valley member guest. See you then.